green banana, corn, rice, jerk seasoning, onion, pepper, garlic, sunflower oil. Pork chop. Wash and prepare the pork chop. Some already come prepared, yet this one still has a bit of fat on it, so it can be cut off. This is the pork chop with the fat removed. It's still got the bone, as that seems to give it a bit of flavour. It will now be washed once again and then fried with a bit of water added after that to boil it down so it can cook. Heat the oil up on a low heat, preferably in a dry pan, that way you'll stop the spluttering. This to brown the pork chop, that way it gives it flavour and makes it look more appetising. To make scratching, simply get the leftover fat from the pork and salt it as much salt as possible all around, and then either bake or fry, and that can give you crackling pork scratching. Corn takes some time to prepare, so when it is boiled it's best to start it early so it can be ready for when you're ready to eat with the rest of the food. Peel away the stalk and either cut the corn to size and it will be ready to boil once washed. Here's one side of the pork brown. You see it's getting brown and tender, so it'll be ready to be boiled down and seasoning added to give it the extra flavour. The grill is where the corn will be roasted, as preferably not boiled this time. Adding water to the pork and bringing to the boil will give the necessity for it to cook well done. Whilst the corn is under the grill being roasted, it needs to be turned quite frequently to get it evenly cooked and not cooked for too long, otherwise it will go kind of tough and you'll need to be ready to chew to get the best out of it. With the seasoning added, that is jerk seasoning and a bit of garlic, enough jerk seasoning to smear the pork with, and garlic just a couple of droplets to give flavour. Okay, time to get some onion, that way it'll give the extra taste that is often preferred by many. That's the onion added, and supposedly it'll leave to boil, basically letting the water let it dry out. If you dry it out too quick, the pork won't be cooked, so it's best to cook it slowly at a mild temperature. The onions will eventually be soft, and if anything, if you lose too much flavour, more seasoning and other onions can be added. Noodles can be easily cooked. They simply need to be added to water and left to boil. That way they become soft and you can lose much taste if they're overcooked. It's a good thing to peel the green bananas and then boil them in water until they become tender, somewhat like potatoes is how they can be cooked. How do the bananas look with their skins peeled? Short of pots, you can add the banana to the noodles, but be careful because the noodles do go soft quite quickly and it can lead to a messy cooking condition if you're not vigilant. Potato skins, that's when you peel the sweet potato and the potatoes, red potatoes, you get these skins. They most likely should be thrown away. Red potatoes and sweet potato. To the left red, to the right sweet. There's the noodles, they look good enough, about nearly done, they're nice soft and tender. You can give them a stir, take them out and put them in some cold water. There's the noodles cooked, and now quickly they are cooked too, ready to eat. Seasoning can be added when ready, such as soy sauce or the likes of chicken seasoning. Pork is coming on well, although it's been about 5 minutes cooking time, 7, and basically it's simmering away. The ingredients are starting to cook in, and that will be something like of a stock. But we'll keep on cooking it in this stock until we boil it down, and probably add a bit more water as we go along, if you can't measure the water correctly. Here is the corn. You can see it's roasted, it's roasting well. You have to keep turning it over, get it onto the right side so you don't roast the same side twice and dry it out. Adding salt to taste to the pork will help enhance the flavour. Not too much now. Although if you are into athletics or sporting anyway, salt can help you when you're very dehydrated and overworked from a game of some sort. Adding a bit of stock cube will enhance the flavour as water has been added. This will, thin out the flavouring. So add a bit of stock after that and you get the flavour back. This is a vegetable stock cube. You'll see the corn's cooked. How to know is to press with a fork or a knife into one of the corn cobs, and you'll find that they will squelch, be soft and juicy, so you know they're cooked. The potatoes are still cooking, as you can see, so they take quite a bit of time. Some will, once they're boiled, take them out and put them onto the grill to roast as well, to give it a nice brown texture, or they can be put into the oven. Yet, as cooking pork, and it's going to be nice and crisp, there's no need probably to roast the potatoes. If you taste the stock of the pork, it could be called gravy. Yeah, it tastes nice, sweet, and it's got texture. Yet the pork isn't cooked unless you like it kind of rare. I prefer mine well done, and yet we're still waiting on the potatoes. As for the banana, they're quite soft, but I prefer to see them well done. Although they are seemingly cooked and they're about to break up, because you have to be careful, they will break up into pieces if you do not take them out before their time. Yet, a nice tender banana with not too much of its original taste, of its growth, can be delicious. Bananas are ready. They're very tender, taste very pasty, as if for cream cheese. So that's how you'll know they're ready to eat. Yet most likely you'll prefer some seasoning on them, and that can be the gravy. Yet they can be eaten just as they are, as corn is a sweetener. This was the rest of the onion. That was half the onion. I'm going to put it in with the pork and the rest of the stock. If you have some tomatoes or tomato paste, this can be added just to give it extra bulkiness. More nutrition the better. Stock added, and also the onions. Possibly a little bit of water, just to tide it over. That'll make it cook down very easily and not dry out, leaving you some gravy or stock, depending on your preference of name. If you really want gravy, this is the kind of stuff. Gravy comes in a number of flavours, from chicken to vegetable to beef, and even some pork, gravy granules. The gravy from the pork will go well with the noodles, so just have to wait our time. The food will be getting quite cold now, but it still tastes nice at a lower temperature than too hot for the mouth. Adding more water to potatoes when they're boiled down helps them keep on cooking, and when they're covered they'll cook well quicker. Otherwise you'll find parts of them will be tough, whilst the other side soft, and then they fall to pieces once you do start to poke them to see if they're cooked or not. Slow cooking the potatoes for a good amount of time helps stop them break up, and that way you gain a better, texture to them. You find the pork is ready to eat, so I'm going to put it in the plate. We'll have some gravy and wait on the potatoes. Although, you could think of a pudding for them. That's it for it. As you can see, we've got the potatoes, we've got the sweet potato, pork, banana, corn, and the noodles hidden.